We are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by nobody. Just me tonight, riding this one solo. Some of you may know why. We'll get into that in a bit. But I am solo tonight. Just me and hopefully the chat. So, chat, I'm definitely going to need you popping tonight. But we're back. Episode, what is it? Episode 18 recap show. And we don't really have one episode left, right? That can't be right? I mean, one EP to go. We just knocked out a 60-minute episode. Maybe a spoiler for the MVP. I don't know. But just me tonight, and we'll dive right in. Biggest thing we said last week, we were going to pull some daggers. Andy, Alex, and Trevor were all together last week. And we own up to that. We're men of our word, and we drew some daggers. So some of you might have saw on Twitter. I'm gonna replay it right now. We put the sword, what was it? Knives down. We put a little safe note on one of them, and we literally drawed daggers. So here's the clip from this weekend when all three of us were together. Let's see if this works. Get the connection. Come on. Classic. We already got OK Squid in the chat. Mikey the Doctor. Love to see that. This video, only Alex never sent me the video. So now I'm going through Twitter. Not working. This is the shit that happens. Come on, Alex. Let's see if we can get this going. Not looking like it. Well, basically what happened was Alex was the one who pulled the dagger first. We were kind of looking around. Me and Andy were like, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. Well, I guess to pick me to be saved. But sure enough, Alex decided to save his own brother, Andy. So I don't know, chat. I feel like that's a little disrespect to the longtime co-host of Alex. Maybe an early LVP suggestion. But yes. Oh, we just got the video. Oh. Alex pulling the dagger.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what would make the best content. Yeah, or person the post on. How valuable it is? I think I'm going to save Andy.
So Andy being saved tonight leaves me leftover pod. Call it the Rewatchables Castaway. I'm doing it solo. It is what it is. So we're here. We're going to have a fun time tonight, chat. OK Squid, Mikey the Doctor, Adamito's in the chat tonight. And let's dive right in. Tonight's episode, 60 minutes, always a plus. I was fine with tonight's episode, except the amount of puzzles. I mean, I think my MVP last week was no puzzles. And I think tonight, my LVP might be puzzles. I mean, it's just to start off this final with 2 puzzles is utterly ridiculous. It is just, 35 minutes of tonight's episode was that, but it was still entertaining. I still liked tonight's episode with the amount of puzzles that we had. Besides that, I mean, it was a pretty basic kind of filler episode, hence why it was probably 60 minutes. Yeah, I mean, 60-minute episodes we all love, and we're hopefully setting up for a good old finale in the next EP. So let's just dive right into tonight's episode. Dabu giving me a little bullshit for the haircut. That's all right. It's all cool. Alex Burge is in the chat. I don't know who that is. It must be a first-time listener. Mikey the Doctor could not agree more about a 60-minute EP. I agree. Perfect amount tonight. So let's dive right in. 76 hours to go. There is no way they've done 24 hours already, right? Like this timeline went from 76 tonight to literally, I think it was 34. There was no way 40 hours were shown tonight. No chance at all. But we'll get into it. So just to recap, we had Tori and Devin in first place. We had Bananas and Nani in second. We had Jordan and Nisa in third. And what's it called? We had, I guess, what's their names in the Redemption House, a la broken eye, Olivia and Horacio, Gigi, Buffon, Donnarumma, bye-bye. So we start off, and the first thing we kind of get is some Cal subtitles with them running, kind of a smirky thing that BME did. You have TJ kind of behind them. You got the Cal saying, "Get off my, what is it? Get off my pasture," and everything like that. But pretty smirk city. But yes, before I actually keep going, Mikey the Doctor brings up a great point. It's not the same as starting the EP with the streak. RIP that. RIP the streak. RIP my group chat. RIP Alex, my co-host, just like stir the pod. But we're still here. We're putting up a great show. In all seriousness, does anybody want to join tonight? Mikey the Doctor, okay, Squid. I think I got to get through 15 minutes first, but at the end of time, like I would love to have some listeners, get some callers in here. Let me know. So let's move on. We had the Cals, kind of a smirk scene. You have Tej on his ATV saying, "You do not want to go home now," all that BS. And we go to Station 4, which Station 4 is one of the grossest swamps I've ever seen. Very Geist Reservoir-esque, just algae everywhere. They're swimming through this. I don't even know what it must be algae or something. And it's just head to toe, pea soup as they called it. And they got to swim to a platform, pick up 4 puzzle pieces, or one bag at a time, and then go back and basically build out, surprise, a puzzle. So basically, I felt like this was just a mixture of maybe 2 or 3 dailies that we've already had tonight, or dailies that we've had during the season. We had the swimming to grab a platform. The puzzle itself was I forget which elimination or daily it was, where they had to, it was like it was 4 sides and you had to figure that out. And the last thing was they had to climb the pole. It was like a 10-meter pole or whatever to figure out what puzzle we were doing. So no surprise there. Them just using the same equipment that they had, saving money, very efficient. BME being cheap. What else is new? So they're running through. You kind of had Tori and Devin being the first people there. They're kind of moving through it, and then Bananas and Nani show up. And then Jordan and Nisa show up a little later. Nani kind of is a little injured during this time. I think it was like her hamstring, or it was her thigh or something she was complaining about. I mean, Bananas was kind of like looking at her like, "You better not give up now." So Tori and Devin, excuse me, were the first people to kind of catch on that there was a simple pattern that you basically had to mimic. Every color was on one side, and it was the exact same way all the way across. So they figure that out, and they're off and running. So they're going, and then once Bananas and Jordan and all those groups start to even out the time with them, they look at each other like, "We're not solving this. Like, can we actually false? That I'm completely wrong. That's later on. See, I'm getting lost in the sauce with all these puzzles that we've had tonight." Bananas and Nani knock it out next. Then we had Jordan and Nisa knocking out. Wait, and this is when you saw the first little clashing between Jordan and Anissa through tonight's episode. I mean, Jordan is just completely pissed off at Anissa, and I mean, he has a right to be, right? I mean, she is like, this has been 13 years, and she's still complaining, and she's in the middle of a final. Like, this is the final, and I understand she rolled her ankle, and it did look, it's a rolled ankle, but you gotta put everything forward here. I would love to get your opinion of Jordan yelling at her. Yes, he was out of line sometimes, screaming at her, but it's like, you got to do something, right? Like, this is the final. You do not want to go home now. But Jordan's screaming at her, Anissa's crying, and that was the first little hint of that. So next thing we get to is the second puzzle, the tangram or whatever it's called. And Tori and Devin, who were the first team to finish the other puzzle, they flew through this. ASAP Rocky, they flew through this. And props to them. Maybe puzzle king and queen like of the season, maybe of the past 5 years. I mean, it's got to be up there, right? Then the rest of the group kind of shows up. Bananas comes next, and then you had what's it called? You had Devin I'm mixing up names tonight. Bananas and Nani first, then you had Jordan and Nisa coming, and they kind of worked this mini alliance. The mini alliance because they knew like we don't want to do puzzles. And this brings up kind of the point that I want to get at is what is the point of the time? Time means absolutely nothing in this final. Yes, you get a 2 minute head start during the run, and then the next day that we found out. But I feel like MTV's just making up the shit when when they show up. They're like, oh, they helped it out. We gotta kind of even the playing field. Oh, you get a 5 minute head start or whatever. It just made no sense to me. I was kind of pissed, but it is what it is. Puzzles screwing us over. So I believe Anissa and Jordan were the first people to actually finish the puzzle between the two groups. And then they were helping each other. They're like, look, the black piece goes here. Just literally copy it. And that's what they did. And Bananas and Nani got third place. And then we kind of go back to the camp for like 12 hours. I mean, the time for this final makes absolutely zero sense. I swear, if I could go back, I want to say from the time they finished the second puzzle to when they started before the swim, I think it was a 10-hour window. There's no way in hell that was 10 hours. No chance. They are finessing this 100 hours completely. So they get back to the camp, like I said, and then it's just like a shit show between Anissa and Jordan. Jordan's yelling at her, like, suck it up. And, I agree. I mean, it's the final. Like, if you break your arm, you're still finishing. Jordan finished the final with a broken leg. And I understand you rolled your ankle and you're not the best competitor when it comes to running and doing all this stuff, but like, it's the final. You got to suck it up. And, Tori comforting her, like, that's nice of her. I think Jordan just realized, like, kind of what the chat, everybody's been saying, like, his final is literally gone now. Like, it is gone. So he knows it's slipping away, and he's just trying to use that emotion to, push forward and do anything. So what else kind of happened? They kind of wake back up after the sleep that they do, and we already have 50 hours left. Like, it makes no sense this time. 50 hours left, and then we get the little station 6, which is to run to the cars. Running to the cars was kind of smirk with TJ's line of forgetting to put the engine in. I thought that was pretty good line by TJ. TJ was a very honorable man. I'm not giving him MVP for the spoilers tonight, but a good honorable mention MVP. He was smirking at not to get too far ahead, the puking at the spaghetti, the little one-liners. He was on top form tonight. But yeah, like I said, part 6 was the run to the cars, and they basically have to push them. So MTV, them, they got to even the playing field just a little. And they have these 5-minute head start. It's got to be like 5 minutes, maybe even less. Devin and Tori start off. They start their run. And then we had Jordan and Nisa start their run. And then Bananas and Nani caught them pretty quickly. And then they got to the car. At the car, it seemed like 2 of the cars were outside of the mud that they had to push. And then there was one that was in the mud, which was funny because TJ's yelling at these people, whatever car you touch, you have to go with. So, Devin's screaming at Tori, do not touch the wrong car, especially the one in the mud. Let's examine the cars real quick, so on, so forth. Then you have Nani just nonchalantly puts her hand on the car, and she's just like, oops, my bad. So you have Bananas and Nani pushing across the mud. Pretty spark moment. And then obviously, like I said, Jordan and Nisa coming in third on that run to the cars. And yeah, they're all 3 kind of going. And I think at this moment, Devin and Tori did a very interesting move of pushing their car kind of across the mud and kind of into the lane of Tori, or in the lane of Jordan and Anissa, which was a really good mood. But I really think it kind of showed Bananas and Nani, hey, let's do that. Why are we not doing that? So it kind of helped them out in the long run. So yeah, from that, Devin and Tori finished first. Bananas and Nani finished second in pushing the car. And Jordan and Nisa finished third in pushing the car. Again, another 10 hours off the clock from station 6 to 7. Literally makes no sense during that time. Let's check on the chat real quick. Mike the Doctor wrote, I feel like the production missed an opportunity to make it a BK buffet. Absolutely, could not agree more. I wish we had a product placement tonight. Would have been a great one. Dabu writes at this point, even Nelly and Fezzi would have performed better in this final. I agree. I think this final actually, even Nelly and Fezzi would have performed better in this final. I worry about the puzzles, the back-to-back puzzles. You really think Fezzi and Nelson would have figured out those puzzles? I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I think that is very sketch. I don't know. I really don't think. Fezzi maybe. Nelly no chance. I see a couple people talking about eating. We'll get to that with Station 7. So Station 7, they start to show up, and it's just this big old plate of. It looks like you literally went to Buca di Beppo and ordered, the family style portion of, this pasta. Looks gross. There's bugs in it from over time. No sauce or anything, and then there's plates of bread. Just terrible. Why would you want to eat that much food? So Tori and Devin finish get there first, and they are just not feeling it. I mean, Tori's using a goddamn fork to eat this stuff. So gross. And then Bananas and Nani show up next, and Nani just was like, I don't know what happened to Nani here. I don't remember Nani being that good of an eater. And I don't know, Chad, if you can help me out here, but I don't think she's ever been that good at eating. I guess she's now. It's almost like she talked to Tony Reigns about Tony time just to eat, as much food as possible. And, while I bring up Tony Reigns, I mean, can we get Tony back on the challenge? I feel like he would have demolished this. He might have eaten that whole plate completely by himself. But Nani just killer. Tony Reigns level, just everything. Just unbelievable eating performance. And I love some of the shots MTV did, just how disgusting it was of just Nani reaching up, dropping it in her mouth. Bananas is just like looking at her like, what the fuck are you doing? And then, but yeah, it was just one of the most disturbing eatings Tony with the mayo is up there of one of the most disgusting things. Anybody who can eat a jar of mayo is one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. But Nani, hell of a performance. One of the best eating performances of all time. I'll say it. And then it was capped off by Mikey Dr. Great Point. Who is making all this pasta? I mean, at the end of the day, like, who is paying for all this shit? So much pasta. But to get back on the tracks a little bit, Nani has one of the most iconic moments. She's finishing up her pasta, and she just pukes right in Banana's pocket. Could not have gone any better. I mean, you saw it just looked everywhere. Disgusting, nasty. Ugh, could not imagine Bananas being in that position. Like, it puts his hand in his pocket, and it's just, don't even want to think about it. Gross. So they knock it out first. And then Anissa and Pastagate 2.0, love that, Mikey the Doctor. Anissa and Jordan, they finished second, which was solid of them. I figured Anissa and Jordan would have done a little bit better. I thought Jordan was a little weaker in this eating. I thought he could eat a lot more. Didn't really show up. It is what it is. So Jordan and Anissa got second. Tori and Devin just eating it with a fork and stuff. Just terrible. So then they go back to kind of the bunker, and we're at 34 hours left, which I have no idea how we're at 34 hours. So you're telling me in tonight's episode, we started off at 76 hours and we got to 34 hours tonight. If my math is correctly, that's 42 hours. So you're telling me we basically had 2 days worth of stuff. I just don't see 2 days worth of stuff that I just named, right? Am I losing it? But basically, that was the end of the episode. You had a classic moment of Bananas yelling, "Get to the chopper," which we're at the finale, baby. You do not want to go home now. I'm excited. 1 EP to go. Hopefully STP's back with me. It could just be me again, just talking through this stuff. So who knows? So anything else in the chat that I missed? Okay, Squid writes, Devin and yes, I hand up. Devin and Tori did finish second in the pasta eating. it just looked like they were so far behind in the eating portion. Like I for some reason I thought Devin or Anissa and Jordan finished ahead of them. So anything else in the chat? War of the Worlds. Okay, let Dabu brings up a good point. What do we think the hardest final of all time is? I think of the one Battle of the X's. That was the snow one. I mean, the one that was in, I think War of the Worlds was the sand one. That one was, I mean, we had people passing out in the sand. Like, that final was banana lands. And Bananas wasn't even in it. So, the sand one was wild. Mikey the Doctor writes, I see Alex in the chat. Where's Andy? Psh, is Andy even part of STP anymore? I don't know. But anything else from tonight's episode before we get into some segments tonight? I guess the only segment I have is MVP, LVP, but I guess I'll be first with that. Alex did, and that's another thing. An honorable mention to LVP that I'll give already is Adam. Not Adam. Excuse me. Not Adam. Andy and Alex for not sending a video. No good luck video. No anything. Like, I'm doing this pod solo. I mean, I barely know. I hate talking by myself. I'm on 21 minutes right now. This is this is ridiculous. Rivals 1 was hard to ask Kenny and Wes. Yes. Speaking of that, there is a great photo of Kenny and Wes. The boys went to Bloomington this weekend. We celebrated Alex's bachelor party. We celebrated Alex's bachelor party, and there was a photo of me taking Andy back from the bars. I don't know if you've seen this, but you can see Trev carrying Andy back from the bar, picking up some ZNC. It was a good time, and that's why we filmed the video. There's a couple unrated. I won't get into that. That's for another day. Adam, if you want to give me this day in challenge history, that's fine. I'm open to it. I probably have no idea, but that is fine. Because I think, what season are we on? I think we're on Battle of the X's. I could be wrong with that, but I think that's what we're on. I don't know. Anything else before MVP, LVP? Uh-oh. Adam says he's got one in for the chat. I love it. Let's see. Let me text Alex. All right, EP3. Battle of the X's. I texted you an X question. Oh, Alex texted me something? This is completely live. When you get there. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Look at that. First off, Adam writes, who beat Leroy and Naomi in the elimination? This is what Alex texted me. Can I see? Oh. I'm flipping around. 9:11. What time is it right now? 9:28. Look at that. I mean, that alliance is so strong right now. Leroy and Naomi. Emily and Ty. I'll go Dabu. I'll go Dabu with that. Dots. Is it Emily and Ty? Come on. We're lunatics. 9-1. That's a bad. Okay. I'm taking Emily and Ty as the right answer. I don't have time for this. So Emily and Ty, correct answer. Congratulations, Dabu. You are the new challenge trivia champ. Yeah, let's go MVP, LVP. MVP, LVP time. I feel like there's a lot of ways we can go. My MVP tonight. I want to give something. I really want to give the chat the MVP because they've saved me tonight. You guys killed it. My MVP tonight is going to be Nani's puke in Banana's pocket. I think that was one of the funniest things this season has had. And it's one of those moments. It's just so Smirk City. it almost reminds me of like, you're at like a bachelor party in Bloomington for the weekend, and some guy's like trying to take a shower, and he's like yelling, "Hey, can I use the bathroom? I gotta puke" or something. Very those vibes esque. I don't know anybody who would do that, especially this past weekend or anything, but very puke esque in the pocket. So my MVP tonight's gonna be Nani's puke and Banana's pocket. My LVP tonight. What was my LVP? I thought I wrote something down. Oh, yes. LVP tonight has got to be one thing. It's puzzles. I mean, what the fuck are we doing, MTV? Puzzles again? Last week, my MVP was lack of puzzles. It was perfect. LVP, just fucking miserable. Just fucking miserable puzzles. One of the worst of all time. But it is what it is. Honorable mentions. Alex for choosing the dagger on me. Very selfish of him. I thought we had an alliance, but you can't trust anybody these days. MVP, like I said, the chat. Chat, you have ultimately killed it tonight. Okay, Squid, Dabu, Mikey the Doctor. Was there no Jesse Adams tonight? I could have used him for a little bit, but we love it. Again, thank you guys. You guys really helped me out tonight. So I'm at the 26:30 limit. I think this is a good podcast. I think. I don't know. Mikey the Doctor writes, you can only trust your ride or die, Trev. I know. So I'm done. I've had enough. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. God, I didn't even get the exit right. I am just loopy tonight. This is going to be so smirk to listen back. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can also follow us on Instagram at Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.